Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about sex. So today's sexual health video is going to be about the gorgeous and beautiful, sexy genital warts. Let's get straight into the video. So I'm going to start off by saying that genital warts are a sexually transmitted infection. So yes, they are an STI. And I would just like to remind people that STIs and STDs are quite different. An STI is an infection, which means you can get rid of it. An STD means it is a disease which you cannot get rid of it. A good example of an STD is HIV. A great example of an STI is chlamydia. This is really silly, but I like to say that chlamydia is the cold of the STIs. I'm only saying this just to make people feel a bit better, just in case they do catch it. But chlamydia truly is the cold and flu of all the STIs, because realistically it's one of the easiest to catch and one of the easiest to get rid of. You catch it, you take antibiotics, 7 weeks of no sex.
Fucking dumbass!
Boom, done, gone. Yeah, so if you didn't know, those are the differences between STIs and STDs. As I was saying, genital warts are an STI, and it's caused by a virus called HPV, and that stands for human papilloma virus. I really hope I'm saying that correct. I feel like most of the time I butcher these sexual health words, but I just don't care, because since you're going to see it on screen anyways, I'm pretty sure it's papilloma. You can catch the virus HPV without it actually developing into genital warts though, and the virus actually clears up by itself over time, hence why it's an STI, because you can get rid of it. Now, just because you have HPV does not mean you will definitely 100% develop a physical wart on your skin. You think that's like great, right? Like, oh my gosh, yep, no warts, yep, love that. Which it is, because nobody wants some crusty, dusty, musty looking wart on their body. But then this may mean that you and a sexual partner might not even realize that you have the virus because you don't have any physical symptoms. This then just means that you and your sexual partner may not know that you have HPV because you don't have any genital warts or any physical symptoms. Genital warts can come in at any time. It can be from 3 weeks of obtaining HPV. For some people, even months after obtaining the virus. Some people, it could take years. For some people, it literally can take years before a wart may appear on them after obtaining HPV. Years. Now let's go ahead and discuss the signs and symptoms of HPV, because I'm gonna be real with you, there's not that many symptoms, so I can't even say symptoms plural. Let's discuss the signs and symptoms of HPV or genital warts. So genital warts are usually quite small, and they can appear anywhere on the genital or anal area. So if you're sexually active, just make sure to always look out for any changes in the skin or any mumps or bumps or lumps. Not mumps, obviously, but just look out for any changes to the skin, any rough areas, any small little bumps, etc. So with a vulva, actually, pause. I just want to explain to you the word vulva really quickly. I feel like this is something that should be common knowledge, and it really is not common knowledge, because I don't remember the last person I knew that went by the name vulva. Vulva is the vagina. Okay, our vaginas are not actually a vagina. The vagina is the hole where the penis goes inside of. That is your vaginal hole. That is your vagina hole. Your actual vagina itself, your vagina, is called your vulva. So that whole section of my groin is my vulva. And when I open my vulva, you can see my vagina, which is my hole, which you insert your penis into. So with the vulva, genital warts can literally appear anywhere on the vulva, anywhere on the skin of the vulva. Genital warts can also be found on the cervix. And if you don't know what the cervix is, it's just the entry to the womb. Or warts can even be found inside the vagina. So now you get what I mean, inside the vagina hole, you can find warts. Now with a penis, genital warts can appear anywhere on the penis and on the skin of the testicles. Sometimes they actually can be found on the urethra, and if you don't know what a urethra is, it's just the tube that you pee from. So where your pee comes out from, that's your urethra. So yeah, sometimes genital warts can even be found inside there. So if you have a change in your urine flow, so if your pee doesn't come out completely straight, or it's like 2 streams, or it's like I don't know, if it's not coming out completely straight, that can be a sign that you may have a wart obstructing your urethral hole, aka your pee hole. Hence why the urine isn't coming out straight, because the wart is blocking it. Other places that genital warts can appear are usually the thighs, more specifically the upper thighs, or inside of the anus hole. Genital warts can be all sorts of different sizes and can appear in all different places. So if you see a new growth on your skin appear and you're not quite familiar with it, and you may be a bit worried, especially if you're sexually active or you've maybe had a new change in sexual partners, it's definitely worth getting it swabbed and checked out. I mean, in the UK, it's literally free to do. So why not just get it done quickly for free instead of worrying and being paranoid the entire time? Genital warts are painless, but they can be itchy from time to time, just like any other rash, spot, or sore. Be sure not to itch the warts. Don't itch it. This will cause you nothing but problems, if I'm being honest. The itching itself will lead to inflammation, and then the inflammation leads to redness, and then the redness leads to soreness. Hey, so maybe don't freaking itch the warts. It's nothing but agony from that itch there on out. And then this whole process of itching will then just actually make the wart painful, even though they're not meant to be painful. Worst case scenario from itching, it could even bleed. So please, let's try to refrain from that. Now, before all of you go start self-diagnosing yourself like, chill out, calm down, babe. It's all right. The only actual way you can truly find out if you have HPV or if that wart is a genital wart is by getting it looked at by an actual health professional, so a doctor or a nurse or any kind of health practitioner who specializes in that section. Like in my clinic, most of the doctors, they know exactly what a genital wart looks like. So usually the patient will just open their legs. Can you tell me if this is a wart or not? They will be like, nope, ingrown hair. Yep, that's a wart. Nope, that's a mole, etc. And of course with testing as well, so getting the wart swabbed and then it gets sent off to the lab and then you'll get your results. Now, I would highly recommend booking an appointment if you fall under any of the following circumstances that I'm about to mention. By the way, when I say sexual partner, this can be anyone that you have sex with. It can just be a friend, friends with benefits, relationship, just dating, just seeing each other. It can be anyone. As long as you're having sex with them, that's your sexual partner. Anyway, if you or your sexual partner think you may have a symptom, if you or your sexual partner have sex with other people unprotected, or if you're pregnant. So yes, all of those circumstances, I would recommend getting tested. If you're wondering why pregnant, of course, just to refrain from sending the HPV to the baby through childbirth. Now let's discuss how the virus HPV gets passed on. HPV is most commonly passed on through sex, of course. Literally anyone who's sexually active can catch HPV and pass it on. But a few other ways that HPV can be transmitted are through vaginal or anal sex, through skin-to-skin contact or genital contact, so if your genitals touch, so maybe you guys are just like grinding on each other naked, like no insertation, literally just baby grind on me, that. You can also catch genital warts or HPV just through that. So like I mentioned earlier, if a woman who's carrying a baby goes through childbirth with HPV, most likely there can be a possibility that the baby can catch the HPV through childbirth. Like when the baby is coming out of the vaginal canal, it can then catch it. That's actually more common to happen with HIV, but it's still a possibility. So I just like to put that out there just to be safe, just in case anyone watching this might be in that situation. I'm just looking out for your little baby. And just to clarify, you cannot catch genital warts or HPV from kissing someone or hugging someone or like sharing like a cup or like a towel or like a bath water, I don't know, things like that, or like sharing a toilet seat with someone basically. Now let's discuss treatment options. So your treatment will depend on what your wart looks like and how big it is, or how small it is, or where it is, or how many there are, or where on the body it is. So whatever health practitioner you may see, they will most likely suggest a few treatment options based on your wart. One of the first, and in my opinion the best, treatment is cryotherapy. So we actually do offer cryotherapy in our clinic. I have to make up that cryotherapy machine almost every day, and I'm so worried I like freeze my fingers off, but you know what, we do it for the money. But yeah, it's actually not that bad, and it's literally just the process of freezing the wart off. So they will freeze the wart for 10 seconds 3 times, and then you just have to take a salt water bath when you get home, and then you usually come back after a week or 2, and then the practitioner will check on the wart, see how it is, if it may need further freezing or if it's just fine, and then by the time you've got the effective treatment, it usually will just fall right off. Another treatment is electrocautery. So I'm not quite familiar with this one, but I know that it is the process of the opposite of cryotherapy, so it's heat treatment this time. Not freezing, but heat treatment. Unfortunately, I don't know much about this treatment. I've seen the procedure, but I've never seen how it actually works from start to finish, just like I have with cryotherapy. You put the circle bit on the wart, and then it just sends electricity to the wart, and then it cuts off the blood supply, so then it just kind of, I guess, falls off because it's got no blood supply going to it. I don't know. You can clearly tell I'm not quite sure, but it's something along those lines. If you want to Google it more, Google's free, babe. Like, just go Google it. So that's another option. Other ways to remove warts, I'm pretty sure they do offer wart creams. You can't get them over the counter. So like any kind of wart creams you see like at your pharmacy, most likely it won't work, but you have to get them from actual like GPs or sexual health clinics. Like you have to get it prescribed prescribed to you. And I'm pretty sure the one that we use in our clinic is called Watercon. Yeah, so creams, surgery, or laser treatment are usually the other options when it comes to removing warts. So, long story short, HPV and genital warts aren't really much of a threat. But you still really don't want to catch it. It is still an infection. It is a sexually transmitted infection. You do not want to catch an STI, do you? Please, 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 if you are having regular sex with different people, just use protection. And do you know what? If you don't want to use protection, like, so I'm no saint myself. Yeah, I'm a sex ed teacher and I've got a degree in it, but I'm not that innocent. You really think every time I hook up with a guy from Hinge, oh, that sounds bad. Like, whenever I hook up with a guy from Hinge, you think I want to use a condom every time? No! Sometimes I don't even bring a condom. But do you know what I do? I make that person get tested. I make them go and get a full blood test, swab, everything, and make sure they don't have anything. Then at least if I'm gonna be having unprotected sex, I have that peace of mind that they don't have anything. So if you really do want to have unprotected sex, there is that option. Just respectfully ask the other person, can you get tested? I'll get tested as well. And then we will both wait. Just stay abstinent until you both get the results back. If you both are clear, go for it. But if you're not willing to go through all that effort, I highly suggest using protection. So you just don't have to deal with all of these infections, diseases, blah, 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 blah. Please make sure you're getting regular testing. I personally recommend every 6 months, but it really does depend on your sexual encounters and how many people you have sex with. So yeah. Once again, always remember to wrap up with a new person or at least get tested. Anyways, you guys, I really hope you learned something new today and enjoyed this week's video. I love you all so much and I'm so grateful to you all for viewing my channel, just being here, every single person. Even if this video had like 2 views, thank you to those 2 people for watching. Thank you to every single person who subscribed to my channel. I'm so grateful. I truly appreciate it and I can't wait to return the favor for each and every one of you guys one day. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!